Hello and greetings. This is part 4 biblical study concerning the question why God allows so much suffering, troubles, and evil in the world. The Bible teaches us that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and every intent and thoughts of his heart was only evil continually in the days of Noah. And in those days the earth was corrupted before God, and the earth was filled with violence, and all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. And because of that, God destroyed all people from the face of all the earth, except for Noah and his wife and his 3 sons and their wives. Before the flood, as people in the world was corrupt, filled with violence, and greatly wicked, there had to be a lot of suffering and pain. But we see the Lord did not allow it to continue on forever. And he's not going to allow suffering and troubles and evil and sorrows and even death to continue on in the world forever. The Lord saved Noah and his family, which was only 8 people, because Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord, and he was a just man, perfect in his generation. After the Lord destroyed all people with the flood, except for Noah and his family, there were only 8 people living in the world after the flood, and it was Noah and his family. From Noah's sons and their wives, the earth was repopulated and filled with people again. And sin and great sins entered the world again, and all have sinned and fallen short from the glory of God. And because of that, there has to be penalties and God's righteous divine punishment for sins, which is why God decided to destroy the earth and all the people living in it again for the final time. But this time not with a flood, but with fire. And he plans to punish those who are ungodly, unrighteous, those who are not in the Lord, and those who are not faithful in the Lord. Just as God gave everyone the opportunity to be saved from the destruction of the flood back then, he's also still giving everyone the opportunity today to be saved through his son, Jesus Christ, from the punishment he plans to bring on the world at the end on the last day. Concerning that, 2 Peter chapter 2, verses 4 through 7 and verses 9 reads, "For if God did not spare the angels who sinned, but cast them down to hell and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved for judgment, and did not spare the ancient world, but saved Noah, one of 8 people, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood on the world of the ungodly, and turning the city of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemned them to destruction, making them an example to those who afterward would live ungodly, and delivered righteous Lot, who was oppressed by the filthy conduct of the wicked. Then the Lord knows how to deliver the godly out of temptation, and to reserve the unjust under punishment for the day of judgment." This is the end of part 4 biblical study concerning the question why God allow so much suffering, troubles, and evil in the world.